Hi, I want to give another update on the EL34 vacuum tube stereo amplifier that I'm building. But I wanted to give a word of caution also before we get into this any deeper, that working with high voltages can be dangerous, especially with vacuum tube gear. You really need to be careful if you're not used to working around this type of equipment or building this type of equipment, because very high voltages can be generated, especially with the charges that are held on the capacitors in the system. In this particular amplifier, it'd be upwards around 500 volts, and that can do a little bit of damage if you're really not careful. So I did a little more to it, and we have the chassis laid out. I put the chassis together, the sides of it, and I laid out the top of the chassis. Usually I use painter's tape, and you need to really give it a lot of thought of how you're going to lay it out, where you're going to put the components, and you can draw it all up real nice, and you can put the holes, drill the holes. Generally I use punches to punch the chassis out, but this chassis is a little thick, the same as the 6v6 amplifier. So I use these hole saws, these carbide tipped hole saws that I purchased, a set of them, and they work out real nice. These ones are in millimeter size, but you can get close enough to what you need for the holes in a larger tube socket holes and such, and the holes for the transformer power feed lines. But it works out real nice. So you can see after the fact how I did this. And if you need to touch up, this plate has the anodized black on this aluminum, but you can get the alumina black in a pen or in liquid form if you scratch the top up or need some of it blackened before you finish or you complete the project. You can re-black that. We used to use that in a machine shop I worked in years ago when I was younger to do the same thing to aluminum that we worked on. Now I painted the transformers. I always like different colors on the transformers. As you can see, I use this duplicolor metal cast anodized coating. I really like it. I've used it on other things. As a matter of fact, that Alienware blue laptop that I redid, I used the blue on it, but it requires you to use the two-part on the coating. It's a base coating and then the color spray, the color that you choose. They have various different colors, but it comes out nice. I like it, but it's a little bit of work to learn how to use it because you have to be very careful. It runs easy and you can get an uneven coating on it. So it requires a little work ahead of time and practice with it to get that just right. But it works. So the transformers, the red color, I think it's going to look really nice. But you could do anything with that, any type of color with it. So that's about as far as I got. Next I will be mounting that top plate on the chassis, and we'll start to install some of the components, and then later on we'll do some of the wiring. I'll probably do the high voltage section first and make sure everything's working there before I mount anything else in there. So other than that, till next time, have a good day.